Welcome everyone for today number 33. Welcome everyone to day number 33 of the bird speedrun. We're at 1348. It's time to go.
Wake up and smell!
Let's get it moving. Playing a 1430. F4, wow. Look at this, it's the bird. This is wild. Is he gonna play my system? I would be flattered if he plays my system. I wanna see if he plays my system. Is he gonna hit me with the pin? Is he going to play bishop b5? Okay, no, he's playing a stonewall. So no, this guy does not know what he's doing. Stonewall is not good. Do not play stonewall with the bird. It's not going to go well. We're going to play bishop f5, just laser in on the e4 square. He is going to be worse here. I guess he's going to take. That's not a good idea, though, because he just put all his pawns in dark squares. He's going to really need that light squared bishop. He's going to try to take on c6, I guess. We'll play queen b6 here. If he plays queen a4, I can even play queen b5. Man, I'm starving, honestly. I made the decision earlier tonight that I had too much work and I wanted to just get done with the updates. And so I decided against having dinner and I just thought I would eat some fruit. And now I'm really regretting it because all I have to eat is Doritos. And I would love to eat like a burger or a steak. Delicious steak. Steak is so delicious. All right, let's play bishop e7. Just gonna castle. Black is doing very well here. Yeah, if you're missing the light squared bishop in the stonewall, things are not going to be going well for you. g4 is a little annoying. I should probably play h6 to make sure my bishop has a cubby on h7. Knight b3. Interesting stuff. Let's play c4 here. Push the knight around. Knight d2, h5. I'm just securing some light squares. He's not going to be able to push g4. He could now try knight f3, knight g5. That's a little annoying. So maybe after knight f3, I'll play knight e4. Very uncomfortable position for him at the moment. Queen e1. All right, I'm going to start introducing some tension with the c5. He plays queen g3. I can play h4. Queen takes g7. I think rook g8. Or even rook h7. Knight f3. Knight is coming to g5, but now we play knight e4. This was the whole idea. Knight g5, my knight is covering this. It is very cold here in Brazil at the moment. I got the heater blasting. I got the heater straight blasting in this room. But I'm still wearing gym shorts, so it's freezing. It's a cold and chipper day here in Brazil. Okay, what should I do? Let's just kick the knight out. It's finally time to kick the knight out. It's time to go, buddy. You gotta get moving. I could take this way, the knight couldn't go there, but then he's gonna take this pawn. Let's just take with the bishop. Not the end of the world. He plays knight f3, I play g5. His knight is still completely dominated. Very uncomfortable position for him still. I don't even have to play g5, I could just castle queenside. Yeah, now that the bird updates are done, I can finally start learning Portuguese again. I was just so focused the past 2 weeks on just like managing this like these courses and getting these updates done and all this other stuff. All right, let's play bishop d3. He could take this pawn. I'll play king d7, and I'm threatening to trap his queen then. King d7, super sneaky move here. I expect him to take. He's gonna take. Who wouldn't take? We play rook g8 here, and then this traps the queen. Queen f7, all right. Lost 10 points, or I gained 10 points, sorry. Gained 10 points. 1358. Okay, are we gonna see a Fromm's gambit? Is this a time for a Fromm's gambit or not? What's going on here? It's time to go. We're gonna take. Knight f3, queen takes is not the proper move. Queen takes is not the proper capture. They're supposed to take with the bishop. What flag is that from? That flag looks really cool. Okay, so is that a crescent? There's a crescent on the flag. That means it would be Middle Eastern, because it has to do with it's invoking like some aspect of Islam. I don't remember what, but you know, you guys know what I mean. The crescent moon. You see it on Turkey's flag. You see it on Tunisia's flag. But okay, the crescent moon with the red and green. What flag could that be? Not Egypt. Egypt is red, white, and black. Not Tunisia, not Libya. Oh, I'm at a loss. It's not Morocco either. It's one of the Middle Eastern countries. Maybe Syria? Libya. Okay, it is Libya. Wow, I completely didn't know that. I guess I'm only thinking of Tunisia or Algeria, but Tunisia or Algeria's are red and white. Bishop g4. Let's just play. Let's play d4 here. If he takes, I just take with the pawn. My structure is healthy. He's not getting a queen over in time. We're gonna play c3 here. Got to be a little careful, actually. I should probably research what to do in this position because I have had some difficulty in this system lately. Maybe d4 was a little inaccurate even. Let's just play g3. He can take, and then check, but then I play king f2 and I'm completely solid there. The most important thing in the Fromm's Gambit is just make sure to get your king out safe and try not to lose a pawn, and you should be much better. Getting your king out safe is not that easy a task, though. Like right here, if I play e3, he's going to play rook e8. Okay, so he's going for that. He checks. I could just play king f2. King sits securely here. The classic cubby with the pawn on f3, king on f2. Diagonal's completely closed. There is nothing that is coming to harass my king. We're going to play bishop c4, bishop f4. All right. I like bishop f4, but then he puts his queen on d5, and it's hard to get my bishop to c4. But actually, what am I complaining about? Bishop f4, queen d5. I play knight d2. Bishop will come to c4 anyway. Bishop sits very nicely here on f4. Very comfortable position at the moment. I really hope I can get to 1400 by the end of this video. Last video, I lost to a guy, and yeah, suffice it to say, I have my suspicions. Yeah, I'm gonna report him. Cheating. We're waiting anxiously from chess.com to hear about the update. But yeah, if he plays, so here, this should just be completely winning for white. I'm up a really important pawn. He doesn't have anything here. Queen g6. Queen g6, let's take. He takes, we'll play rook e1, we're gonna start trading. Knight f6, I can just play queen b3. He doesn't have anything. He has literally nothing in this position. He's got no maybe he has this trick. That's a sneaky trick, actually. f4. f4 is another interesting move. f4 is a classic move, though. Okay, here, let's throw in a check. Throwing in the check, I think, is a good thing, because now I can play knight c4 next. I can play knight c4, start pushing the queen back. He has some questions now to answer. I think before, if he had played knight d4, he might have even been better. There's an argument I mismanaged this position. I definitely need to like have my foot on the gas in these games and not think that these wins are just going to come easily. Because many a chess player has been surprised whenever they do that. It's pretty much the worst mentality to have. You should never expect to win a game. Pretty much whenever any of my friends go into a game thinking that it's going to be an easy win, it's never an easy game, and usually they don't even get the result that they were expecting. It's best to just show a lot of humility when you're playing the chess game. Treat your opponents with respect and dignity. As the great Susan Polgar once said, you want to win with grace and you want to lose with dignity. I remember that from one of her tactics books. So here we could play d5. If knight takes, then we're going to play rook d1. Yeah, that quote always stood out to me. It's actually, like, as corny as it sounds, it's a very good quote. Win with grace and lose with dignity. I like it a lot. Susan Polgar, definitely a friend of the show. Her tactics book is fantastic. Her tactics book really helped me when I was growing up. I never bought the book, believe it or not. It was just at Borders. It was at this bookstore that I used to frequent. And yeah, what would happen is that I would just sit down, grab a coffee, and just read this book for hours. And I read it day after day. I never bought the book, but I would leave it in the same exact corner of the same exact shelf. To this day, like I'm talking about a time 16 years ago. The Borders has since been demolished, but if I were to go back to that Borders, I would know exactly what part. It's the second floor the second floor, like the fifth aisle down the main corridor. Yeah, I love that Borders. Literally, when I was in high school, rather than study silly topics like science and math, I just chose to study chess. And the joke was on school because chess turned out to make me a living. Let's play knight a5, attack this, attack this. Lots of threats here. Tons of threats. Has to be losing for black. Yeah, that's awesome though, honestly. I'm just thinking about that now. I'm only just processing. That's insane that I can remember the corridor. That's insane that I can remember the exact shelf. I'm not trying to brag about myself or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about like the human memory in general, especially with regards to chess players. Chess players are really are normally very skilled in areas of memory. It's just astounding. We're literally talking about 16 years ago. Okay, there. So I have a really cool trick here. I'm going to take. If the knight takes, I can play knight c6 check and fork. The queen is trapped otherwise, though. The queen is definitely not getting out. He takes, I play knight c6, I pick up the queen, and then finally I'm going to pick up this goodie on d5. It's time to go. It's really time to go. Let's take. Take. Okay. There, we'll throw in a check. Very uncomfortable position. King b8, we could just take on c6. King b8, actually the simplest. We just need to bring the queen in to deal the final blow. Let's play queen a4 here. Threatening queen a7, also threatening queen c6. Rook takes d5, I have queen a7 and queen c7 mate. Another idea is queen f4. Queen f4 would also do the job. Yeah, queen f4 is even better. Check, king a8, this is mate. King c8, this is mate. It's time to go. It's really time to go. Okay, there. Let's mate. What time are we running on? We're on 13 minutes. Can we make it to 1400 in time? I'm really anxious. Okay, we'll play another French. Another game in the French. We're going to see knight c3. I'd be impressed if we see knight c3 here. Normally we've been seeing captures. Okay, the advanced. c5. c3, knight c6. Yeah, there have been times in the past when I really liked the French. I made 2 of my GM norms on the French, even though I really didn't know how to play it. Really funny stories. I nearly made a 3rd GM norm, but alas, the fact that I didn't know the French cost me it. If I had known these positions in the French, I probably would have made my 3rd GM norm a lot quicker. All right, knight c6, queen b6. This is the classic. We're just pressuring d4. Okay, let's take. This is a very bad trade for him, right? This is his light squared bishop. He needs his light squared bishop on the board to cover these light squares. When he doesn't have it, our pieces are going to slice through. Our bishop slices through like a machete in the jungle. Okay, here, let's just take first. Let's take. I'm going to drill the knight into f5. Knight is going to sit on a very nice square on f5. I'm actually wondering about how I should do this. I wanted to play c5 sooner, but my issue was that they play queen a4, and that could be a bit annoying. I'm honestly going to wait them out, though. If I play knight f5 immediately, they play g4. It would make more sense to first play c5. Then if he plays bishop e3, then I'll play knight g4, and I'm going to be kicking the bishop off of these 2 squares. And now, because I actually have this d4 pawn under a lot of pressure, now knight f5 would be threatening to come in. Is he coming here to b3? That's a very aggressive move. That's an aggressive move and an impressive move. And to that, I bid him a fond salutation, because that's a fantastic move, honestly. I'll play bishop c5 here. I need to be able to play queen a4. I need to be able to meet queen a4 with bishop b5. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Now that I'm playing these games among stronger opponents, I'm realizing that I have to talk so much more to explain the ideas. I'm talking so much more than I did in the past. Let's play queen. How are we going to do this? Queen c6 or queen c5? Queen c6 or queen c5? Queen c6, if he takes, I take this. I guess I'll go with queen c6. I'm covering this. There's no check in some positions. He takes, of course I take. My main plan here, though, is to play knight f5, h5, h4, and play for checkmate with knight g3. Bishop is completely slicing through here. I talk about this a lot in my positional course. You do not want to have a bishop pawn push this in this manner if your other bishop on the other side of the board is going to be blocked by it. Right? You do not want to push f4, and this is also why in the bird, when we play f4, normally we're going for a bishop fianchetto here. We're always either going for a bishop fianchetto or we're aiming to pair these pawns up together so that eventually the pawn could move to f5 and the bishop can once again be summarily freed from its f4 shackles. Okay, so we're going to play h5, h4, knight g3. Fantastic position for black. Yeah, life was so much simpler back when I was a teenager and back when I was a kid. It's just, you know, back then it's very, very simple. You go to school, you do the work, or you don't even do the work. I didn't do the work most of the time. I hated the work. I couldn't stand the work, honestly. It was mind-numbingly boring. If I could have chosen to, I would have left school at like the age of 12. I did not pay attention. I would memorize things for tests. It was just it was a terrible experience, honestly. It's not that I didn't have a thirst for knowledge. I hated like the very cut and dried, artificial, superficial, commoditized version of the information that we were being taught. Bishop f2, they take, we play d4, they play rook f3. Am I mating there after bishop e7 or not? I guess I'm not, but look at this. I have a cool move. I can play bishop e3 instead. Now I'm segmenting this section of the board in half. If he takes her, I play d4. He's no longer defending f3 twice. This is going to be checkmate. Yeah, this is an unbelievably problematic position for him. I guess he has to play queen f3. If he plays queen f3, though, then I can take the bishop on c1. And yeah, part of the idea here is that if he takes, I play d4, king g1, and then I can just take with the knight on e3, and I've saved my piece. I haven't lost anything. And I actually have quite a serious attack with the queen coming to g2. He would have to play queen e2, and then I could double down with bishop e7 with this really nice open diagonal and the battery. He could play rook c3. I think rook c3 is best. I'll play bishop c4. Still try to go for the checkmate here. Rook c3 looks like it has to be played. Okay, that, but then I play d4. I play d4 here. Man has only one move, has to play king g1. We're going to take on e3, threaten the queen, threaten the checkmate. All right, 1374. Let's play f4 here. Knight f6, knight f3. We're starting to see a lot more logical openings now. e3, he better play d5. All right, d5, bishop e5, and we're back in the two knights chapter in my course. This is the classic a6. We just dropped the bishop back to e2. There was no need to take here because the bishop is misplaced. b5. We've been seeing this a lot. This is sometimes good, sometimes not. I'm seeing I got a notification. I'm wondering, is what I think happened? I'll check it at the end, pretty much. What I suspect happened is that guy who was cheating last video got what he deserved. All right, how are we gonna play this? We're gonna play c4, get the queen to c2. I really like getting the queen to c2 in these positions, and the idea is we're playing for knight c3 and then f5. Very interesting structure here at the moment. This should be better. He should not have traded twice here. If he trades twice, it should be a bit better for white. We're going to play knight c3 here. And yeah, it's just a very comfortable position here for white at the moment. I have a classic idea of queen c2, rook c1, then throwing the knight to g5 and really starting to take pot shots. Excuse me. Really starting to take pot shots at the king over there on g8. All right, let's play queen c2. He plays knight b4, then I'll retreat to c1. I desperately need to put on some socks. It's very cold. I'm feeling my feet now, and they are freezing. They are cold as ice. This is the GM Raven show. All right, Queen C1. Up to 1374 at the moment. How much time we got left? We only have 10 minutes left. Can you imagine 10 minutes left? I don't think we're going to get up to 1400, sadly. He's playing A5. Let's just play A3. Kick the knight back. It's time to go, buddy. Time to pack it up. Plays knight C6. We play queen C2. We're going to get rook C1 in. Knight G5 in. Yeah, from what I remember, the computer says these positions are only slightly worse for black, but just look at them. They look so uncomfortable here. While our bishops have a real element of dynamism, a real element of bravado to them. But, you know, black's pieces are just all huddled up. The bishops are pointed into the knights. Nothing really makes sense here. Let's play rook C1. Another idea I have is bishop A2, bishop B1 to take even more pot shots at the H7 pawn, but I don't think it's necessary yet. I think if we keep the bishop here, it's going to find some usefulness eyeing this F7 pawn. Sooner or later, I might be able to throw F5 in. H6. Interesting move there. Half of me wants to play knight G5 anyway, if you can believe it, because knight G5 takes. Where does this knight go exactly? If he goes to H7, then I can take on F7, and I feel that that's going to be winning. Knight G5, that's a wild position, honestly. I want to play that. I really want to play that. I don't know if this is correct or not, guys. This is probably not correct, but let's go for it. Definitely there were tons of other interesting opportunities here. I could have just played knight E4. Maybe I would have to protect this bishop first, because after knight E4 takes, the bishop is hanging here. But this position should have been much better otherwise. I'm just doing this for the hell of it. I think it's going to be very fun. I think we're going to have tons of compensation. And it's going to be real bird mayhem in the birdhouse. And that's what we're going for. That's what all of you guys clicked on this video to watch. It's for some bird mayhem. Going back here, though, I mean, there are several other moves we could have tried. Bishop A2, bishop B1. F5 is a classic idea. Dude is playing knight D5. That's going to be bad, though. We're going to take twice. Bishops are shooting down the board. How does he even protect his knight here? He has to play knight A7. What an ugly move, knight A7. Knight is hit. Also, I'm threatening bishop F7. I'm literally threatening a forced mate here. I'm threatening queen G6, and he cannot take because of the pin. I'm threatening bishop F7, king H8, bishop G7. Okay, well, this is just forced mate here. Bishop F7. Nice. Bishop F7, bishop G7. The king is going to take, and then we're going to check and play queen H6 with mate. All right, this was a nice game. Look at that. We got bingo with the bishops. The classic old bingo. All right, so check. And mate. Nice. It's time to go. I thought we were going to get a notification based on whether or not chess.com had chosen to ban the guy. I really want to know that justice has been served for the man that taunted me. Why did I play this? Oh, I guess I hate the knight d2 variation. Knight d2 is the Tarash. Tarash is very, very boring. Here we will play, let's play the Fort Knox variation with bishop d7 and bishop c6. A lot of beginners don't know how to meet this. They're supposed to play bishop d3, knight f3, and queen e2. It's not that obvious and not that natural to someone who hasn't studied it before. This guy's a really funny photo. That's hilarious, man. Whoever you are, if you ever see this video, if you ever stumble upon this video on the Raven Sturt channel, we salute you. That's a funny photo. Let's play knight f6. Knight takes, we'll take with the queen. Game is opening up. I have more pieces in the game than he does. This definitely cannot be bad. Play knight c6, bishop c5. Maybe even get the rook out to d8. Yeah, if I could end this video on 2390, that definitely wouldn't be a bad thing. Because I'm honestly assuming that chess.com is going to give me like a 20-point bonus. Because I lost 8 points due to that loss. And I lost 8 points due to that loss. And I would have won 8 points if I had won the game. So that's a 16-point swing. And it's time to go. It's really time to go. We got to get it moving, guys. 1383, almost 1400. We're getting it done. Let's play knight c6. I really want to put the rook on d8. That's going to cause the queen some serious issues. Serious questions. Questions need to be answered. Look at this though. Bishop b4 is really cool. c3 I can take. I think takes works. The idea is that after takes, queen takes. If he blocks with the bishop, I take this. But how else is he going to defend the rook? He can't, so he's just losing 2 pawns. He lost 2 pawns there. Very uncomfortable position. Queen e2, we can trade, play bishop c4, I'll castle queenside, bring the rook to e8. Pretty solid position. Black looks like he's well on his way to victory. And the bird will soar. We're soaring, people. We're not Gandalfing, we're soaring. We're soaring in the air. It's time to go. Half of me wants to give this guy a draw just for his photo. That's such a silly photo. And you're never going to find someone who appreciates a silly photo more than I. c1, let's just castle queenside. When the rook comes to e8, there is going to be hell to pay. The rook e8 is not going to be fun for him. He plays queen c2. I just need to figure out a way to keep the bishop dug into d3 so I could play bishop f5 there and take back, and his king is still marooned in the middle of the board. Queen c2, another idea there would be rook e8, and then if he takes, okay, he just resigned. Guys, so I guess that's going to do it for today's video. Today was day number 33. We're up to 1390. Again, I think that chess.com is probably going to get back to me about the review, and they might suspend that guy's account, and I might get 20 points. Regardless, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow, probably for day number 34.